Greetings, fellow Iron Teeth. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn, Episode 4, Reservoir. I think right now the bottleneck for any and all of our construction projects is timber, not constructors. So I'm moving around workforce to have more people working the cutting the trees. We're just waiting. Like, a lot of these pine trees are almost full grown. Some of them are like 80, 90%, or not 90, but high 8, mid 80. So it will be soon. If we needed timber like urgently, we could always cut down mangrove, but I of course want to avoid that because mangroves are kind of better as fruit. And soon here we should, yeah, we're starting to get mangrove as a benefit, as a nutritional benefit now. Two days until the drought. I don't know how long the drought will last, but I hope it's not a brutal one, because I don't really have the infrastructure to deal with a brutal one. But we'll see. We will see. Because paths are free, I don't really need access to this back section yet, but I like to just have my district builders be able to gain access to anywhere they want to go. Might be nice to have a gatherer flag up here to gather some of the blueberries that are on this peak. Because I have a lot of lumberjacks that are just not doing anything because there's not grown trees to cut down. Like this guy. Just standing around. I also don't have mangrove fruit storage. And this gatherer flag is just about full up. So storing that fruit would be a good idea. Probably just put another small warehouse here once I have the wood to afford it, and stick it in there. It's really not a convenient spot, actually. So maybe right there. It's not a well thought out spot, but I'll stick it there just so that the beavers around the homes have access to fruit. The larger warehouses are a lot more storage efficient, but for right now, I'm just so strapped on timber that I'd rather just go the cheap option rather than the efficient option. So why this forester not sow these 3 trees? As far as I could tell... Oh, maybe they just haven't gotten to it yet. Because it's within their sphere of influence, but might just be too... Yeah, they're working on it now. I jumped the gun there. There's a little bit more wood up here. Not much. And some of the pine are finally coming in. So we should see like a wave of pine as they mature. They get cut down for wood. The wood goes to levees, and then they get resown. The oldest oaks we've sown is like in the mid-80s. That will be a huge payday once that happens. So for a while there, we were like, oh, you know what? I did not... When was my last autosave? I'm stupid. 3-3. That was kind of a long time ago. I might have to save scum. I did not raise my floodgates. Oh, it's a 6-day drought? I think it should be fine. I'm gonna... I totally blanked on that. I was managing other things. I think we'll be fine. Worst case scenario, I can tap the water down here for pumping. If our water levels get too low. But yeah, I totally forgot to do that. So, the lumber mill is going to need a power wheel runner. And I'm going to reduce the amount of people working in the lumber mill from 2 to 1. Just because we have a work power shortage. We are getting close to the 500 needed for the Tier 3 floodgates, though. It's kind of exciting. I'm going to sort of manually measure. I would say once the water gets down to like the dark wooden section of the deep pump, I'll consider building a backup pump in the lower area. But I think we should eke out with like, I don't know, like 5 or 10% water left. Even if we go to 0 water, as long as there's water stored in these tanks, we'd be fine. Because plants don't die too quickly when dried out. As you can see, it takes like about a week for berry bushes, for instance, to die off. Kohlrabies are a little bit quicker. But because there's water here, most of the kohlrabies are within range of the lower water. So even if we ran out of water in the main river section, it wouldn't be tragic. It wouldn't be catastrophic. So the fruits and veggies are being fulfilled. Wet fur is actually, considering I don't have Lidos or showers, the fact that 14 of my beavers go through water on an average day is pretty nice. So I'm going to make the choice here, because we're so strapped for wood, to cut down the lower mangroves for wood instead of using them for fruit, as they're even more efficient than pine trees. And then once the oaks start coming in, then I can change the designations to forbid them from being cut. But at least right now, like, I'd rather have the wood. I'd rather be moving towards a big reservoir than like building up a supply of mangrove fruit. Because mangrove fruit keeps us happy, water keeps us alive. I'd rather be alive than happy. Well, I'd rather be both, but if I had to pick one, you know? Now, I do have some workers here that are going to do what I would consider pointless work, which is just to clear out these old stumps because they aren't doing anything else. So I'm going to have them stump clear as a thing to do. It will make finding fully grown trees a little bit easier, I suppose. How's my holidays? Pretty good. Pretty good. Did a lot of cooking. Boy, did I do a lot of cooking. But I love cooking, so, you know, that works out. I should do a cooking stream? You know, I just don't have a kitchen or hardware to stream something like that. Otherwise, I would honestly consider it. I don't have like a GoPro or something like that that would allow me to do it. And I don't have a laptop to be able to, like, I can't haul my desktop into the kitchen. You know, I just don't have the infrastructure for it. That and, you know, I have thin skin. I wouldn't let you guys being like, oh, that looks awful. I'll take nice photos and upload them to Discord. That's the closest I'll get for now. Let's do a manual eyeball water check. Maybe a little bit more water there. Maybe we will have to move the deep water pump though. You know, the more I look, the more it seems like that might be the case. So figuring out where to build the pump would be a good idea. Like, I could build the pump here, maybe, if I, like, put platforms there. But that's a lot of wood to be invested in platforms. Probably the cheapest way to do it is just something like this. It's a very long path. Well, yeah, actually, it would look like that. It's a very long path to get to the water, but it doesn't require too much infrastructure. So let's set that up as a sort of just in case. We don't actually need pathing to this dandelion warehouse because I'm not producing dandelions at the moment, so it's not like not having access to that matters. Hey, thank you for the raid. Prover Balin? Is that how you say it? Or the Prover Balin? The proverbial inn. Alright, there we go. Wow, that's not how to do a shout out either. You'd think I'd know by now, having streamed for years. There we go. It's a difficult name to parse. My name is difficult. You'd think I'd be used to it, but no. I mean, apparently literacy is just not my strong suit. Thank you for the latitude there for me botching your name, and welcome. Cheers. You know, I just realized my builders can't get down there. That's too far for them. All right. My builders... Okay, so here's the plan. I don't have a plan. All right, here's a plan. I'm going to have to remove these mangrove trees and start building a road to be able to get down there for the water. Because the water level in the main river is, I would say, like, worryingly low. So we need to start working on backup water. So start, I like how it says start. Start work on a large reservoir. And build backup pump. So for the builders, this is the highest priority, and let's hire one more builder. Alright, is that far enough? No. I need one more tree removed. And then they will be able to path all the way to this seedling, get rid of that seedling, and then put the pump in. What looks to be good news is that more of the pine is growing. Oh, we have an injured beaver. So they'll heal over time. I don't have medicine and I don't have healing available to them. So I get docked on well-being a little bit, but it's not that much of a penalty that it will be critical for me. Will opening the first set of floodgates allow water to backflow up to the pump? No. Water abides by gravity. So if these floodgates were fully opened, all it would do is the water around this pump would drain into the lower section. So now, we just need to build this here. And in order to build that, I'm actually going to pause the lumber mill and the power wheel so that we're not using our timber for making planks. We have extra beaver power, so put them on tree cutting, which is going to be really helpful because the oaks are starting to come in. So we're going to have a lot of extra wood here in a second. And then as soon as this pump is built, I'll stop the pumping for this one. In fact, I'm going to stop this one now. So the reason I'm stopping this pump is to preserve what little water is left in this section of the river to keep everything around it irrigated. And then pumping here, because this, if you here, let me x-ray. As you can see, the water level in the lower section is about like 45%. The water level in the upper section, because I've been pumping, is like 15%. So the commute to get to this pump sucks, but this pump has more reliable sources of water as a result. So it's a backup pump, and I'll leave this backup pump here and not break it down once we're over this drought. I have a free worker. Where do I want to put them? I don't know. Everyone that needs to be doing work is working. Just leave it the way it is. One person has a blot on R. You know what it could do is another inventor. That wouldn't be a terrible investment. We also have, I just realized, enough for the triple floodgate. So these are the floodgates needed for the Grand Reservoir. We'll get those queued up. It's obviously like tons and tons and tons of more wood and planks to construct this whole infrastructure. But now all the blueprints are down. So what I'll probably do for extra science, I'll have you guys decide what to research next. So I'll put it in like general categories. So food. And if you pick food, I could actually just build a fermenter. I don't need to research that. And we could start doing cassava or something like that. We'll figure it out. I could also research gears. So that would be under the category of wood. I could research metal. Probably a bit too early to research metal, actually. I could research power to get the bigger water wheel, or well-being. Well-being would be for like shrines for spirituality, or temples for spirituality, or decorations. So decorations would be shrubs and roofs. The benefit for shrubs and roofs is it raises well-being at low cost. So that could raise work efficiency, move speed efficiency, and longevity. Same with well-being. Well-being and decorations do the same thing, just they're under different categories. So you guys pick what is done next. And we're 0.8 days away from living through this drought. The backup pump is done, so let me remove that. And even though I completely botched the drought preparation by not raising these floodgates properly, I was fine. Because even a floodgate at 50% is enough. And it looks like we're going to have enough water to not dry out. Which is cool. So all those oaks gave a really nice influx of wood. There's a lot more levee work that got built, as you may have noticed. And I'll put 2.5 minutes on this poll, so you guys decide. Here comes the water. When the compact water wheel starts rotating, I'll turn the lumber mill bag on. Get that going. These blueberry bushes are finally fully grown in size, so soon they will be yielding blueberries for us. Not that we need it, because we have 220. We have like an immense amount. The thing is, Aaron, let me get rid of this flag. All these blueberries are going to get flooded as soon as the floodgates are done. Meaning that these blueberries are not going to be a resource for us anymore. Alright, now that we have water flowing again, I'm going to switch what pump I'm using. To use the pump closer to the water tanks and closer to the population center. All that lovely oak stopped. They stopped maturing. The closest oak we have is like 90%, so it's going to be another day or two. A lot of the pine trees aren't all that grown. Well, no, some of them are closer to 100. 95, I saw. But I'm patient enough. Oh, we have an oak up here. I cut that down. Okay, you guys want power. So everything in the power research tree except for the large water wheel requires metal, so it doesn't make sense to do anything but the large water wheel. And this is a bigger, more efficient water wheel. What I will say about this water wheel is this water wheel, given its size, is probably also going to require the high power shaft, because this water wheel is needs to be 2 blocks off the water, and I don't have a river to allow for that at the moment. or I don't have production facilities to allow for that, which means it's rather complicated because I need gears first in order to build the high power shaft for the water wheel. So, updating the priority, build a reservoir and set up gears and a large wheel. So gear workshop, done. And I'm going to have to destroy some of these berry bushes in order to get this running, but that's okay. And then the high power shaft needs more research. I'm going to hold off on making gears until I have more of the reservoir built, though. Or kind of until the reservoir holds water. As it's more important than more power water wheel. See that the water worker is having trouble keeping up, even though he's well-being 9, so he has a 10% extra work speed. Hopefully he'll produce enough water to... Okay, I think now everyone's water needs are being fulfilled. Good. I am starting to also get homelessness, so even though I'm like using an absolute ton of my wood for the levees, let's solve the homelessness, because homelessness really drops the population well-being efficiencies considerably. So I'll get another barracks up there. Help out with that. In terms of the floodgates themselves, the first floodgate has all of the planks delivered. The middle floodgate has 2 shy of all of them. So we really only need 17 more planks, and I already have 16 in stock. So like in terms of the planks required for the floodgates, we already have like just about all of the planks needed. But as you can see, there's a variable height of... for these floodgates all the way up to max, which is 3, which would fill the reservoir, and then down to 0, which allows full flow. So I'll set it up to 0.5 so it doesn't, flood everything. So I do still have a little bit of thirst. What I think I'll do is I'll just turn on this other deep pump. Just to supplement a little bit extra water, and then once the water starts to get stored in the small tanks, I'll turn it back off. It's just to get rid of those thirst needs, because that's hurting work speed. So now I have high power shaft. So the reason I need gears first is the high power shaft requires a gear to make. And the high power shaft allows you to send power up a level, as you can see here. So the large power wheel needs to be supported like 2 units above the water, but my industrial lumber mill is 1 unit above the water, so there's a mismatch. So what I'm doing here is getting the gear to be able to send the power downwards. There's other ways to send the power downwards. Like what I could have done instead is get like a large row house or something like that. But I'd rather have the high power gear now, because I'll probably want it in the future. So a lot of the levee is already up the 2 heights, which is awesome. So I think what I'll do is start to prioritize the bare requirements. In fact, the bottom ones I'm going to set to 5s, highest priority, and then the floodgates to 5s, because worst case scenario, we just go with 2 elevation of water rather than all 3. And then the floodgates themselves will be at 5 as well. Ooh, we got some oak that is gonna be ready to harvest really soon. So this old berry field that I didn't sow myself, I'm gonna get rid of and finally replace it with kohlrabi. I think my farmers are finally kind of running out of... Well, no, actually, there's a lot of kohlrabi that is not harvested here. I'm going to do it anyway. It will look nicer. As if somehow that matters. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Whole bunch of oaks coming up. Okay, so all of the levee walls that are required to hold back at least 2 units of water, 2 elevations of water is now done. We're just waiting on the floodgates, which is going to be 86 wood. That's pretty good. And the extra barracks is done. So no one's homeless. We have 8 spare beds now. Which is why the well-being went back up. Oh, we have a drought in 3 days. If you see me T-minus 1 day, not... or T-minus 0.5 days, not acknowledging the fact that I've got a drought incoming, like, scream at me in chat. To raise my floodgates. Because if this drought is any longer than like a week, I'm in trouble if I haven't raised floodgates. Getting these triple floodgates is really, really important because it will give me a super wealth of wood. Or water. I said wood, but water in order to work with. So I'm really hoping to get those built. So here's one of them. And then paired with that would, of course, be this deep water pump drawing from the reservoir. That's kind of more of a stretch goal for this drought, because worst case scenario, what I could do is I could lower this floodgate and let water into the main river. If this deep water pump is pumping. So it's not super important that we have the elevated water pump ready in time. A nice to have, but not a need to have. T-minus about 2 days. And the middle floodgate is fully delivered. The rest of the levees I'm going to have as a high priority. Because if we can get those built in time, which I kind of doubt given the amount of wood that is required, but if it's possible, that means that we could have 3 units of water held back by the floodgates. Which would be amazing. We're closing in. We got 3/4 of the science needed for the power wheel, too. The efficient power wheel. The efficient power wheel will also need more space. It's a 2x5 by 5 up, I think. Yeah. So some of these mangrove trees will have to be culled to make space for it. And I may also want to change the river a little bit, just the dimensions of the river, in order to make sure that it is spinning as fast as it could spin. But all the floodgates are done. Awesome. It's not time to lift the floodgates just yet. Will we get the levees? That's the big question. So lifting the first floodgate is not effective at the moment because the other floodgates aren't topped up. Just wait and see. I'm paying very close attention to the drought timer now, so that you can see at least my process in filling the rivers. Because when we lift the first floodgate, everything downriver can't be filled, and I'd rather fill it because filling it obviously has a lot of benefits. I don't think we're going to get the levees in time, though. That's okay. 2 units of water should be enough. All right, so we're T-1 day. In about a half a day, I'm going to make sure that the rivers are topped up. So here's what that looks like. I'm going to stop the deep water pump in the back. And I'm going to top up the bottom section now. So it's topped up. Next, I'm going to top up the middle section. And pause the water pump. Alright, so the middle section is now topped. Then I'm going to raise the triple floodgate up to 2 and top up the reservoir. So these rivers are completely full now. They're swelling. And a little bit of evaporation, and now the workplaces are not disabled. I'll keep this running, actually. And it's... So what's going to end up happening here is it will flood over the incomplete levees, which is fine. We'll have a little bit of a flood for half a day. In fact, I did this a little early, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to purposely dump the water just to have our builders be able to build. So we're going to let the water run out real quick and then fill it back up. What I'm hoping to do is to enable the district building to allow the builders to complete the levees, but yeah, that's not going to happen. There's still too many levees yet to be filled up. All right, that's okay. So let's prep for the drought then. So we're filling the back section again. All the way up, it's up. Filling the center section. All the way up, it's up. And then filling the levees. So these are the 3 little levee sections that didn't get done. So close, but not quite there. So the reservoir didn't get full, which is fine, because there's so much water stored back here, it's really not going to be an issue. And the drought has started, and it's a 8-day drought. So the aim now is to try to get this top deep water pump built ASAP so that we can stop pumping from the river section. So everything in the stack here is going to become the highest priority. I don't know if I have enough planks. I haven't done the math. But if we don't have enough planks, then I'll also have to run the wheel in order to get the planks. Oh, yeah. I don't know, actually. Some of these planks are pre-delivered, some of them aren't. So it's kind of hard to tell. But I've just made the priority of all the things that we need most for the deep water pump. Yeah, it feels quite fast. Absolutely feels faster than you'd think. But there you go. Now we have completely flooded back section with like 100% water. Meaning that if we run low on water anywhere else, we can turn on this deep water pump there. And because evaporation works per cell of water every 22 days, the deeper your water is, the better it is in terms of like drought resistance. So 3 deep is maybe not enough. That protects you for 66 days, provided you don't even drain a drop from it. So the eventual goal is, of course, to have like a giant vat of water that you can then release to like a spillway or something like that. But that's a little beyond the scope of what we're currently working on. All right, I have 2 unemployed beavers too. Where can I put you? You know what? Run the wheel. Why not? So as soon as this deep water is done, I'll start working on the upgraded water wheel. Which means getting the gears. So I need a gear workshop, which is conveniently the same sort of dimensions as the industrial lumber mill. Not all of the production facilities are like a 2x3 with the same directionality and all that. So that's important to note. So as soon as the constructors are done with that, I'll work on gears. So current priority is build the deep res pump and then gears for a big wheel. So the platforms for the deep res pump they're getting there. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn, which originally streamed live on Twitch December 27th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Iron Teeth.